I've loved gardening for a long time. I love to grow stuff. And I was tired of sitting in front of a computer and working everyone else's schedule instead of my own. So I just really wanted to do my own thing, and thankfully I'm in a position that I actually am able to do that. Currently, I have 9 plots that I'm looking after, various sizes. 2 of them are out of town, so that my parents' farm garden and then my aunt's farm garden as well. So those are out of town, but everything else is in town, local. 7 in-town gardens, 6 of them are front yard, and then there's one backyard existing garden that I've taken over. And so basically, this year it's been really a vision, and then they have come to me. I've approached a couple of folks just with the idea of, we've kind of chatted back and forth, and they've been excited about the idea of doing a front yard garden, but never been able to make it happen. And then it's just been word of mouth through friends of friends. I call myself an urban farmer, but I don't have a farm. So in order to get the most production out of these spaces, I do a lot of companion planting and succession planting. So then I'm, pulling out my radishes and seeding right back into beets or lettuce or, some other shorter growing window plant, as well as interplanting lots of things. So a lot of my lettuce has been grown up against peas to provide shade. I've got some Swiss chard with some beans, so then they're also shading each other, keeping the bean roots cool and moist, as well as, the chard isn't getting burned in the sun all the time. And then interplanting with some herbs and things for the brassicas, so your cabbages, your broccolis, kohlrabis, those things. Typically they get decimated by the cabbage white butterflies, but if you interplant with strong herbs, so a lot of thyme, oregano, basil, dill is a huge one. Those grow up, the dill particularly grows up, but it definitely deters the white butterflies from eating off so many of those brassica plants. Of course, there's some mixed reviews. Some people would never have such things growing in their lawn. And other people think it's a fantastic idea. And, a lot of folks have just never really considered that it is doable. We're so used to growing things in our backyards and to having the front just this, beautifully manicured space, that turning it into a bit of a food jungle or a wild woman landscape is something that's not on the forefront of a lot of people's minds. But once they see it and see the amount of food that we can grow, the variety that we can grow right here in Red Deer is really astonishing. And so that, I think, is really inspiring to a lot of people, and it kind of just tweaks them or opens their minds to we could do that. We could actually grow a lot of our food right here. So that's really rewarding for me. And then as the homeowners, they get to engage with their community in a whole new way, where they're out watering or pulling the odd weed, or just sitting out front, and then people stop and chat for sure. And in my neighborhood where I've made my lawn into gardens, I frequently will have people stop and either smell my roses or the sweet peas, or just chit chat about how do you stay on top of it all, what all the things are that are growing. And it's been really exciting to see that level of community develop, where our society as a whole, I think, really individualizes each family, individual, and we don't get the opportunity to interact with our neighbors in a lot of ways. And this front yard business is something that challenges that, and it gives you a great opportunity for, low stress interactions in your neighborhood, which I think helps to build your community, of course, but then also I think it really, as you get to know your neighbors a little bit more, it increases your safety and your comfort level in your own neighborhood. I think there's just a lot of benefit to it. So as far as some of the things that I want to see happen with Daisy and Dill. I mean, of course, I would love to expand more and more and provide more and more people with local food. So normally how it works with the markets and the gardens is that I'll provide the homeowners with a food basket every week, and then the rest I'll be taking to market to sell for farmers markets, and then that way I can, further share the wealth that we can produce here in town, and also just build awareness that, we can grow all of these things. We can all take steps to green our city even more. I mean, I feel like Red Deer's done a really great job of being a pretty green city and making good effort in looking after our environment. But we can all do a little bit more, and whether that's growing a bit more of your own food or whether that's providing a microhabitat in the form of a garden, flower garden, veggies, mixed, whatever. All of the plants that we have in our yards work to create the habitat as a whole. And so if you have a yard that's converted to growing productive plants, what you are in effect doing is creating a microhabitat and even a microclimate in some cases. And so when we do these things, then we give the birds and the bees and the little bugs and all those microbes a better environment to live in, which then as a whole, we get to benefit we get a greater benefit out of that. And so then it just contributes to our ecosystem. And so I would encourage everybody to do a little bit more of that.